Welcome to the weekly current affair class. Today we will be dealing with topics from society and ethics. You must have read in the newspaper regarding the petitions with respect to the same-sex marriage and center's view that same-sex marriage cannot be recognized under the law, and the second topic with respect to ethics that calls for the issues with respect to artificial intelligence. Okay, there have been various instances in the recent times which have highlighted the ethical issues about the adoption of artificial intelligence. We will be discussing both the topics in detail. Moving to our first topic, that is just give me a second, that is same-sex marriage. So you all have read about the Navtej Johar judgment, where Supreme Court of India basically decriminalized section 377 of the Constitution. Earlier, same basically gender sex was punishable by law, but Supreme Court changed its viewpoint in the Navtej Johar judgment and the section 377 was decriminalized. Today it is no longer offensible basically or punishable offense for the same sex partners. Okay, now the second issue basically that arises here is with respect to the recognition of the same sex marriages. Okay, if two individuals or the same sex couples are partners, they cannot get married because their marriage is not recognizable by law. Despite the decriminalization of section 377, the central government has not brought a law or brought any amendment to the existing laws that basically brings about a change with respect to the recognition of marriages. That is why recent petitions basically in the Delhi, both the viewpoints have been highlighted, where they have asked that why despite the decriminalization of the same sex, okay, why basically same sex marriages are not being recognized. And another basically center's viewpoint is also that, and there are some other individuals who are opposing this or organizations that are opposing this, which are stating that it is intervention by the secular state in the religious matters of the basically majority section of the population. So we will be dealing here in detail what are the arguments for the same-sex marriages and what are the arguments against the same-sex marriages. So just a brief introduction here, where section 377, which makes sex or marriage with the persons of same gender punishable by law. However, the Supreme Court decriminalized this section in the Navtej Johar judgment, like I have already told you. But petitioners in Delhi High Court have sought a declaration to recognize, okay, the same-sex marriages under the Hindu Marriage Act and the Special Marriage Act. So you should know that basically difference here, that if there are two partners, okay, of same gender orientation, if they are involved in sexual activity, it is not illegal to do so. However, they cannot do a marriage. Okay, that is a basic distinction that is here. Now we will be discussing what are the arguments for the same sex marriage. See, first of all, the basic argument that is given, those who are in the favor of the same sex marriages, that if you have decriminalized section 377 of the Constitution, which basically allows to perform sexual activity of the same sex, basically then why not marriages? Okay, then why not marriages should be recognized under the Hindu Marriage or Special Marriages Act. The big thing that was the basically same sexual activity that has been recognized by the, or basically that has been decriminalized by the Supreme Court. So recognition of marriages should be also done. First point. Second thing is that when we talk of our constitutional morality, okay, you must have heard the term within your polity classes, what is constitutional morality. It talks about social equality, social justice, freedom, our preamble, okay, our fundamental rights. They are the basic elements in which these values are enshrined: equality, political, basically social, economic justice, all that things. There should not be any exception with regard to application of such values. They are absolute and they should be basically enjoyed by each and every individual or citizen of this country. So denial of same sex marriage is a violation of specifically right to equality under Article 14 of the Constitution. If you are denying that, see, some individuals are equal in society, they have a right to marry whom they or any another individual they want to, but there are some individuals who are denied this choice. So basically you are not treating them as equals first of all, and by restricting the other individuals by to not perform some specific type of marriages, you are also basically denying them the freedom to do whatsoever one wishes to do, okay, in a democratic country. So this is a second point. Third point is basically with respect to, you must have heard of the Hadia judgment, where Supreme Court specifically stated that intimacies of marriage lies within the core zone of privacy, that marriage is a personal choice, okay, marriage is a personal right of the individual, and there cannot be any intervention by the state in that. The choice of partner lies within the exclusive domain of each individual. It is a personal choice. When you will be able to exercise your personal choice, basically you will be exercising your freedom, and it is a private matter of the individual, okay. You must, under basically right to privacy, under Article 21 of the Constitution, it is a fundamental right now. So Supreme Court has in its Hadia judgment earlier also, it has stated that if any individual wants to marry his or her partner, basically they have an freedom to do so, and there should not be any intervention by the state in doing so. Further, there are many countries like USA is there, Germany is there, Canada is there, those who have legalized the same sex marriages. We call ourselves a democracy. We are a member of the UN organizations such as human rights organizations and many others. So, and by we should follow the trend or even lead the another countries towards this example, because democracy gives the freedom and equality to its citizens, okay, and not deny or basically put a restraint on exercising their freedoms. We must ought to, what we say, fulfill the universal values of equality, freedom, human rights that are there, okay. These are the arguments that are made that why same sex marriages should be legalized or recognized. Again, I will repeat in nutshell. See, first of all, if you have decriminalized section 377, so marriage should also be recognized. First. Second thing, Supreme Court in its another Hadia case judgment has specifically stated that marriage is a basically private zone of the individual. Everybody has the freedom to select the partner of his or her choice. And third one, constitutional morality. When we talk of equality, justice, freedom, okay, they should be basically enjoyed by each and every citizen of the country. There cannot be classifications that, see, these individuals will, what we say, exercise their freedom and others are denied that freedom. So by following that trend, we should not let our Article 14 be denied to some specific citizens of the country. They should be enjoyed by all. And last one is basically the major democracies of the world such as US, Germany, Canada, they all have recognized the same sex marriages, and India being a democracy should also do so. And we are also the part of various UN organizations such as human rights that is there. So we should also allow the equality or freedom to be enjoyed by our citizens, and even take a lead being a democracy, that how we are giving the freedom to our citizens to enjoy their rights. So these are the basically points that are made in arguments. Now we will be dealing with the arguments against the same sex marriages, okay. Why there is an opposition, or why the central government is stating that we will not be recognizing the same sex marriages. What are the basic things? See, first of all, the basic issue is with respect to Indian family unit conception, okay. What is the conception of Indian family? living together as partners and having sexual relationship is not same thing as the Indian family. The conception of this was the particular statement that was given by central government in its response in Supreme Court, where they stated that Indian family unit conception basically is husband, wife and a children, which necessarily presuppose that a biological man as husband, a biological woman as a wife, specifically biological, so that we can differentiate according to the reproductive parts, okay, and the children born of their union. This is a conception of Indian family, okay. So this is in against to our basic conception or our cultural practices that are there, okay. Living together as partners and having a sexual union basically does not mean that they will be a family. So this was center's response. Another thing is basically it is stated that social change must be from within the community, from it should be by the people, okay. They should state that, see, this is the thing we want and the government should do so. Government has stated that, central government has stated that there is an opposition to this kind of marriages by the people themselves. Even if the law is made, such law will not be accepted by the people, and the individuals who perform same sex marriages, they will be subject to discrimination and social stigma. It cannot be removed. These things can only be removed if the attitude of the people changes and the social change is from the community itself. We cannot impose the things on the people, okay. There will be an opposition to this. And last basically one is that registration of such marriages basically they are in violation of existing personal as well as codified law provisions, such as basically all the things would be changed. What are the degrees of prohibited relationships in the marriage? What about the division of the ancestral property? What about the conditions of the marriage, okay. What are the ritual requirements? All the things would have to be changed, and basically this will require a lot of amendments from the part of the government, as well as a lot of deliberation with the religious communities, that how these things would have to be changed. That is why central government is stating that even to change these things on our part, we need a deliberation with the community, okay, with the people. If people are not willing, basically how will we be able to bring a change in such type of things? Degree of prohibited relationships, what are the conditions of marriage, what are the ceremonial and ritual requirements, okay, how to divide the ancestral property. These things would have also been to change, and they can only be changed with the deliberation of the religious communities, and a secular state as such cannot interfere in the religious requirements of a particular community. That will be not a constructive intervention. So these are the basically basic oppositions that are made by the central government or even by the people against the same sex marriages. I will repeat in nutshell again. First of all, the concept of same sex marriage is at odds with the Indian family unit conception, okay, where there is a biological husband, biological wife and a child born out of their union. Even a sexual activity or sexual union between the same sex couples basically does not fulfill this criteria, so that is why it is not recognized. Second thing is basically the change that is basically talked about, it is basically imposed on the people. People themselves are not willing, or the society is itself not willing to recognize this kind of same sex marriages. Even if the law will be made, people will not recognize it, people will not adopt it, and the government even may have to face some kind of resistance that, see, you are interfering with our rituals, you are interfering with our religious requirements. You must basically know that in India, religion is a way of life, and marriage here is not only a civil partnership. There are religious activities involved. There is a religious stamp on basically on the marriages. So that is why religion comes up big or forms a big part of the marriage. Okay, so that is why basically the discrimination or the social stigma attached with the same-sex marriages will not be changed. And the last thing is basically, even if they are recognized, what about the laws regarding the marriages, like the basically relationships, division of ancestral property, ritual requirements that are to be performed at the time of marriages, they would all have to be changed, and the ritual requirements and all that kind of things basically are only made with the deliberations from the or with the deliberations with the particular religious communities or the priests or so kind of individuals. So that will also require deliberation, and if people are not accepting this change, they will not be willing to basically adopt the concept of same sex marriages. So these are the points that are made in opposition. What you have to write the way forward in these type of questions. See, you will state that Supreme Court in its various judgment, you can quote Shakti Vahini cases there, or you can also, like we have discussed, Hadia cases there, you can state that Supreme Court has already stated that marriage is a personal choice. It is a personal freedom, personal private thing. Okay, nobody can tell you who should you should marry or not. It is your personal decision. So in the respect or in the spirit of these judgments, same sex marriages should be recognized to uphold Article 14, that is right to equality. Okay, to uphold right to equality of the Constitution. And even you can talk about here that constitutional morality can only be achieved, constitutional morality can only be achieved if all the people are able to enjoy the basic rights that are given to the people by the Constitution of this country. So this will be the kind of way forward that you will be writing here. Okay, moving forward to our next topic, that is of ethics. See, in the newspapers you would have seen a lot of examples, such as whenever there is a testing of autonomous cars ram into another cars, or you will see the news with respect to the discrimination that is displayed by the artificial intelligence system with respect to gender inequality and all that things that are there. So experts have questioned whether this discrimination or that basically accident that is performed by the autonomous car, we are presented with the dilemma that who we should hold liable with respect to such type of conditions, whether it should be the basically owner of that autonomous system or owner of the car, okay, or basically the AI system itself, who should be held responsible in these kind of situations. If you are stating that AI system is itself responsible and we should hold it accountable, then how you will hold it accountable? Okay, what are the provisions, what are the basic process through which the system will be held accountable? And if the owner is held accountable, he is also having his defense that, see, I was not doing anything, the car was in an autonomous mode, or the discrimination displayed by the system is on itself. What I have done basically nothing wrong. All the basically the acts that are performed by the system are its by own. I had nothing to do with it itself. Basically, only what I was doing in this particular scenario is that I was just sitting in the back seat, or I was basically adopting the particular system to basically fulfill my purposes. I had nothing to do with it. So it presents a various ethical issues with respect to such kind of situations, that whom or basically what is the impact of AI system on the individuals or on the society as a whole. Okay, how it is basically, whether it will be having a positive impact, whether it will be having a negative impact. If it is resulting in some dilemmas, then basically how those dilemmas should be resolved. Okay, that is why first we will discuss what are the ethical issues, okay, that are there. Then we will also discuss the measures, basically how to resolve those dilemmas or the ethical issues that are there. Okay, the task at your hand I am giving you is that you will learn about what is AI ethics. I hope you have must learn it within your classes also, but still, what is AI ethics? Okay, first issue that we have at hand is that is of privacy and surveillance. See, with AI system, the system that is so intelligent, that system that has the elements of machine learning, okay, it can result in data theft or profiling, sorry, data theft or profiling of the individual. For example, if police has what we say put a data or put a particular list into the AI system, see what happens is when a crime happens, the police has basic information with respect to criminal track records of, they have some intuitions that, see, we will first investigate that kind of community, or that this kind of crime may be committed by that community. When you put this kind of data or the information into the AI system, it will display same kind of discrimination or the stereotype social stigma that was at the hand basically done by the police officers. So it may result into the profiling of the systems while basically analyzing the cases, while basically performing its guesses and so on. So that is a basically big issue with respect towards us, that is the issue of data theft and profiling. Second issue is with respect to automation and unemployment. See, what happens is that AI system is largely being adopted into the less skilled jobs as well as the basically low paying jobs. They are at the risk. You can also talk about the manual worker jobs that are there, or low entry level. You can talk about entry level jobs such as receptionist is there, for example, secretary is there. These kind of basically jobs are being outsourced to the AI systems. So less skilled manual worker jobs or the low paying jobs or the entry level jobs are being outsourced to the AI system. That is resulting in a job loss. Okay, next issue that we have had hand is with respect to transparency. The decision making that is done by the artificial intelligence system, it is opaque in nature. Nobody knows how the algorithms are working, how the basically system is coming to the conclusion. The process is very opaque in nature. See, that is why we will never know what kind of decision making or how that particular decision making was done, okay, which further highlights the issue of unaccountability with respect to the performance of the system. Okay, next issue that we have had hand is with respect to intelligence. See, I have already told you, or you must have also learned within your classes, that AI system is capable of performing machine learning. So on its own, basically system has the ability to develop the system that surpasses the human level of intelligence. The system that was devised to make the life of humans comfortable may very well in the end basically dominate its creators. Okay, it may very well dominate its creators. Okay, and humans may be subject to the AI system. So what are the basic ethical issues that we have hand is, first is with respect to privacy and surveillance. Second is with respect to the loss of jobs at the entry level, less skilled, low paying jobs. Third one is with respect to the how the AI system works. We do not know how the algorithms are being or working, or how the conclusions are made by the system. The process is very opaque. And last one is, because of machine learning, the system has the capability to develop superior system that surpasses the human level of intelligence, and it can end up dominating the human species. Okay, so these are the ethical issues that are there with respect to the AI system. But we will also be discussing how to solve this kind of dilemma. Okay, what should be done to resolve the dilemma? First of all, we should respect the right to privacy. You already know that under Article 21 of the Constitution, basically right to privacy is a fundamental right. So we should protect the autonomy as well as the personal details of the individual. Whoever is basically developing an AI system, that individual can be asked to develop such algorithms or to develop such a system basically in which the data theft or the leakage basically is very less. Second is with respect to data protection bill. Okay, it should basically deal with data theft, profiling, holding accountability Okay, specifically we should have such provisions that if anyone basically makes the use of AI system to what we say profile the another individuals, to steal from the basically other systems, or to basically perform any illegal activity, how that particular individual will be held accountable. Okay, the individual who is manning the system or who has developed the system can be asked to develop or basically ingrain such provisions or again such categories of softwares in the system that can protect these kind of activities. Okay, next is basically greater good, that is also called as utilitarianism, greater good for the greater number of people. AI system, it should not infringe upon the human rights of the individual. It should promote social justice, it should promote social justice and fairness. Okay, at the end it should be used to basically make the life of humans comfortable. That is the basic task, or that was why the system should be developed. That is why we have stated utilitarianism thought here, that greater good for the greater number of people. Next one, human oversight. Okay, it should be made in such a way that it is always possible to attribute ethical as well as legal responsibility for the AI system. At the end basically it should be the humans that should man the AI system, and if anything goes wrong, that human or that particular individual who is manning that system, they should be held with ethical as well as the legal responsibility. And last one is impact assessment. Okay, before the adoption of the system or the kind of work that the AI system is performing, on the basis of that, human, social, cultural, economic and environmental impact of AI should be carried out. Okay, that should be done, that how basically it is impacting the individuals. Like I've already stated you in various other videos also, that impact can be positive and impact can be negative as well. So we should always find out what kind of basically impact it is having on society, our relationships, on our environment, okay, on our business models, on our economy, on our culture. If the impact is less or the impact is useful, that is how basically the AI system should be adopted. So these are the basic things, that how the ethical issues can be prevented. I will repeat it again: right to privacy, to protect the privacy or the personal details of the individual; data protection bill, to what we say curb the issues of data theft, profiling, and great utilitarian principle behind the adoption of the system, that it should be used for the greater good. Then human oversight for ethical and legal responsibility, and last one is impact assessment of human, social, cultural or economic or environmental basically impacts of the AI system. Okay, this should be the basic things that should be kept in mind while the adoption of the AI system. So these were both the topics that were in news last week. So that will be all from my side. Thank you so very much.